We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. You are connected to from wherever you are. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, moving from desire to no desire. By changing the desire, you cannot attain to a state of no desire. Journey from desire to no desire is a revolution, not from old desire to new desires, from worldly desire to the otherworldly desire, from material desires to spiritual desires, from desire to no desire is a revolution. But the question arises how to move from desire to no desire. This is intricate, little subtle, and you have to understand some things. In order to move from desire to no desire, there got to be a desire. Only then you can reach to the state of no desire. So this is the first condition. If someone has a profit motive, there is some greed, there is need for some desire, some gain, only then you can move from desire to no desire. You are desirous of going somewhere, so then you can move from desire to no desire. So presence of desire is an essential prerequisite for it. This is the first thing that you have to understand. If you have no desire, you're just sitting down, how can you attain to a state of no desire? But you are not moving at all. If I say with no desire you attain eternal bliss, this is right, and with no desire eternal bliss or happiness happens. But if I say to you with no desire you will gain eternal bliss, then what will happen? You will make it an object of moving from desire. This desire, the motive that you will gain bliss, eternal happiness, is the motive that you will move from the desire to what you call no desire. That desire, absence of desire, and change to another one is not the revolution. Journey from desire to no desire is not a result, it is a consequence of deep understanding. Try to understand that with desire there is misery, and do not think that you know it already. Knowledge is not important. I have heard there was a blind girl, so someone asked, how do you know that this person is ugly and that person is beautiful? You will find it strange. So she said, my sisters tell me this person is ugly, that is beautiful. So this is knowledge. Try to understand that with desire misery comes in, but it is not a knowledge, or you can say that I know it already. You do not know. If you had known, then how can you move into desire? You have not yet become aware that desire is misery. So you keep on changing the desire, one desire to another. Desire is misery. It creates bondage and problems. So be aware when you desire something, be aware. If there is awareness that I am desiring this, then move with the desire with full awareness. Only then you will reach to the state of misery. Every desire leads to misery, whether it is fulfilled or not fulfilled. If the particular desire is not fulfilled, you change it and you keep on changing. If fulfilled, it leads sooner and becomes, if unfulfilled, it takes time, but every desire leads to misery. Take, for instance, any example. You are desirous of buying a vehicle. If you get it sooner or later, that desire will change and you will move to another desire. If it is not fulfilled, that too is a problem. You will be tense, you will be miserable. Be alert of the whole process and move with it. Unfulfilled, it takes time, but with every desire leads to misery. So you have to be aware of this entire process. There is no hurry because nothing can be done in a hurry. And when it comes to spiritual growth, it is not possible in a hurry, that it is not like a quick magic. Move slowly, patiently. If there is patience, then it is easy. Watch every desire. And then watch how desire becomes a door to misery. So you are walking down the street, or you are looking at because all these business people, they use the social media and all other media to advertise their products. And everyone is connected in one way or the other, social media. And so if a new model of the vehicle comes in, you cannot escape it, because somewhere or the other there is something in you. Suppose you have bought a vehicle, a new model comes, and they have the data for all those people who have bought the vehicle. Or you have bought your laptop or iPhone. Specifically, this goes on with the vehicles. So when new model comes in, they will immediately send you the message, a new model has come in. Or the business people use those media where it is known the traffic is highest. So everybody goes on Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook. So iPhone will be advertising, the Apple will advertise their products on these places where it becomes easily visible to the person who had somewhere or the other a minutest desire for that. So you have to be aware. and then introspection comes in. The new model comes in, I have heard, and they have to continue the business, so they will create many situations. The last year they advertised for iPhone 14, now iPhone 15 is coming in, or around would have come in. So they will give many options. You can, so you say that you already have an iPhone, so why do you want it? No, this is upgraded. It has a better facilities, better camera, better grip. And so, but I don't have the money. So you can exchange old phone for the new. We will buy your old and give you a new one. Because someone or the other may be interested in your older model. So this is what they are using, the tricks. If you are aware of these tricks, you have to introspect. Do I need a better facility, a better equipment for carrying on my work. You are in a business, so you need to store data, you need to store photos, the documents. So whenever it is needed, so you have a ready available wherever you are. So it is a convenient. Is this particular model that you have is serving your purpose or not? If it is not, it has become outdated, or it is a very old model, like say iPhone 4, 5, then, or any other smartphone, then you can think of changing. So this is introspection. Which model I can afford? Not that it has become a prestige issue. I remembered when I was in India, one of my friend there, his sister was living in England. So she was visiting India. So while talking to her, she said, we are here, we spend a lot of money in travel to India. Now when I go back, I have to save the money because new model of the bedroom furniture has come, we have to buy that. Do you need it, or it is a prestige issue? So sometimes it becomes a prestige issue. So this is what you have to introspect. Is it your need, or it is a matter of prestige issue? Then you will be able to move from this. There is a desire, a product has come in. So and whether you want to buy it or not, you will look into the features of it. This have this feature, this feature, this feature is better than mine. So you look, now a process begins. Desire is there because you are looking at it. It is not the purpose, for the purpose of knowledge. Why do I need to have the upgrade my information, my understanding about my subject, not that which is not necessary. So there is no hurry, because nothing can be done in a hurry, and spiritual growth is not possible in a hurry. So for spiritual growth, every moment you have to look into. When a call or message comes in, sir, we have gotten a new model of upgraded model. Last year he sold you the model before that. He convinced you in every possible manner this is the best up to now, with its feature, its color, the whatever way the salesman tricks are. Then another model comes in. he will start they give appreciating, giving you good, better features of the new model, because this is the part of the business. So you can be affected by it. But 1 year ago you bought a new model of the vehicle, the next year new model has come in. So what these people see, that items like iPhone, there will be a certain person, or any other smartphone, there will be a certain number of people who have the financial capability or something to change their models every 1 year. So smartphones new model will come every year, but vehicles new model will not come every year, maybe every 2 years or 3 years, because they understand the psychology of the people, that the if a new model comes out every year, the person who has taken a loan from the bank, he may not be able to get another loan. So minimum banks, they take the loan for 3 years, so they keep every 3 year or so a new model will come. They will give you information, call you and tell you, look, a new model has come in, so come and visit, look at the features, do the test drive. And along with that, they will give you many features, that X amount of money is free, your insurance is, so attractions comes in, and you get affected by it. That there is the, I am getting a 3 years or 5 years free insurance, free service, and the 100% loan from the company itself. You do not have to go to the banks. Instantaneously it will be approved, things like that, because you have bought the last vehicle and you have honored your commitments, so they will be ready to give you, because this is the way the business goes on. So I am not, when I am saying desire to no desire, I am not talking about desirelessness. Desirelessness is not important. You have to move from the desire to no desire. You cannot practice it. Remember, only desires can be practiced. How can you practice a state of no desire? It cannot be practiced. You can practice desires, but if you are alert, you become aware that the desire leads to miseries. Now you are looking at it. If you are buying the vehicle on your own, it's no problem. If you have to request your father or someone to get the vehicle for you or the phone, so you will try to give him all the features and tell him the facilities that the company is giving, that you do not have to go to the bank, loan will be approved immediately and you can get the vehicle immediately, insurance. So you will be trying to convince the person who has to finance it for you. So you have to be, if you are alert, you will become aware that desire leads to misery. And when each desire leads to misery, when this becomes your realization, not mere opinion or knowledge, that each desire leads to misery, but it becomes a realized truth, then the process of desiring will disappear. I am not saying that you do not change. Number of times when I look at the, giving you the practical example, I look at the features. No, when it appears, so I am not blind, that I can keep my eyes open. And also I am testing whether I am attracted towards this, or that process of rationalization is taking place within me. vehicle, 5 years insurance, 100% financing by the company, or company makes the arrangement because the company has to sell the vehicle, bank has to sell their loans, so they join as a partners and arrange. So you don't have to go to the bank. Once the company approves it, immediately the bank will finance. And so they do not look into how long the vehicle is. The vehicle 5 years loan is X amount, 3 years terms is this amount. So it looks quite good. I can pay $2,000 every month. 5 years, how much you are paying? By the time the loan is finished, what is the value of the vehicle? In comparison to the amount of money you have paid in the form of interest and everything, but you feel comfortable. So now the question comes in my mind, why do I need a vehicle? Is it a prestige issue or a convenience for me to go to work or carry on my business? So what is the status of my present car, vehicle? Is it serving my purpose, or is it constantly giving me trouble that it has to go to mechanic? So regular service every 3 months is good enough. Yes, certain parts get wear and tear. So is it happening every month? Every month the vehicle is breaking down? No, it is not. Then is it necessary for you to change the vehicle? Because it is already serving the purpose. It has the facilities, air conditioning, this and that and so. So why to spend the money on the vehicle when you need it for something else? This process has to go on. This becomes your realization now. It is not a mere knowledge. It has become a realized fact. And the moment this becomes a realized fact, immediately the desiring disappears. It becomes impossible to even you yourself cannot convince yourself. It becomes impossible. How can you lead yourself into misery? Why should I put myself into a misery? Yes, at a time I needed a vehicle for continuing carrying on the business, transport of the merchandise from our warehouse to the customers. It was a necessity because there will be a salesperson who will be carrying the merchandise from the warehouse to the customer's place. So you need a vehicle. Everything is okay. So you do that part. This self-analysis is the most important, and then you will realize when all these facilities are there, but you already, the company is paying the loan of that existing vehicle that you bought. So maybe you can think after that is cleared and it has been successfully cleared, then it can think of otherwise. So if you have, it is not a knowledge, it is a realized fact, then that very moment the desiring disappears. The advertisement that came in front of your eyes will disappear from there completely. It becomes impossible. How can you lead yourself into misery knowingly? But if you are unaware, unknowingly you can put yourself into misery. You are always leading yourself to happiness, thinking that you are and always moving into misery. This has been happening for lives and lives, that you have been moving yourself into a miserable situation. You always think that the other, that the door to the heaven, and when you have entered, you always realize that it is not hell. And this is without any exception. Move with mindfulness in every desire. I gave you the example how the business people advertise their product, convince you with different features. Firstly, they give you the features of it, then they will give you the facilities, what the company will offer you along with that. So, move mindfully and allow every desire, and remember that every desire leads you to misery. Then suddenly one day a maturity will happen to you, and this maturity is ripeness, is your self-realization. You will realize that every desire is misery and you will move with it in the realm of desire. Desire is important to move from desire to no desire. And then if you are mindful in analyzing the particular desire, then you can move from desire to no desire. The moment you realize desiring disappears. The moment you introspect, they realize, but realization happens through the process of introspection. You are introspecting. Is it necessary for me to change the vehicle? So what are the criteria? You decide, is my vehicle serving my purpose? Is it comfortable? It is trouble free. It is not going every the week or every other week, breaking down and going to the mechanic. If it is not, then I don't need to change the vehicle right now. If I change the vehicle, will I get the money by sale of this to pay the down payment for the next? So the smart people, they say that we will specifically for smartphones, we will buy your old phone, and so they convince you. So when you go to buy your phone, you are already buy a new phone, they will look into the condition of your phone and see if they take your phone and not exchange, take it at a certain price. So what price they can take, so that they can resell that phone to another customer who cannot afford the new model. So you are thinking that last year you bought for $1,000, so you will get $1,000. No, you will not get, because that phone which you bought last year for $1,000, the company, after refurbishing to company settings, cannot sell for $1,000. So it will, and company at times does not sell itself, so it sells through its vendors. So company will offer you, we will give you $400. Oh, $400. So new model is $1,200, so I have to pay only $600 more. Good enough. Convinced you. That is the trick. But if you are aware of this entire process, last year, so 1 year you use, and you think that 1 year you use, so what you bought for $1,000, now you are getting $400 for its service. If you have leased it for 1 year, so you are paying $600. Many things I can give you an idea how the desire works, how the desire is created in you, and you remain miserable thinking that it is good enough. And then you buy it, then you realize that you have put yourself into a trap. So at times you call this as a trap. So the moment you realize, after the process of mindfulness, introspection, desiring disappears. There is no need to do anything now. Desiring simply falls away or withers away, and now you are in a state of no desire. But if that basic desire for the smartphone or the vehicle was not there, you cannot move to the state of no desire. In that state of no desire, in that no desiring, nirvana is, the cessation of desire is a state of nirvana or moksha, and that is the beginning of awakening. It is the perfect, the absolute bliss is there. You can call it this state when the desiring has disappeared. There is no misery, there is a state of inexplainable bliss. You can call it love, you can call it God, you can call it kingdom of God, or whatever you may choose to call it. But remember well that it is not the result of your desiring. It is not the result. There is a difference between the word result and consequence. It is a consequence of no desiring. And no desiring state you have attained through desiring. When you introspect and you realize the pros and cons of this desiring, then you reach the state of no desiring, and as a consequence of that, you experience whatever you choose to call it. And non-desiring, you cannot practice it. Those who practice non-desiring, that is, they are fooling themselves, deluding themselves. There are many all over the world, the monks, the renunciates, who are practicing the state of no desiring. You cannot practice non-desiring. No negative things can be practiced. Underneath they will be desiring. They are all hankering for God in one way or the other. The peace that will happen, the bliss that is in waiting somewhere in the future, beyond death. So they are desiring, and they call it this state of desiring as a spiritual desire. There is nothing like a spiritual desire or worldly desire. The nature of all desires is the same, the process of desiring. You can call it a spiritual desire or worldly desire, but the process of desiring is there behind everything, whether the desire is for a vehicle or desire for bliss or desire for heaven. So desiring remains, and so we skip the process of desiring, how the process takes place. We only focus on the noun, which is desire. So worldly desire and spiritual desire. Move from worldly desire to spiritual desire, but how you move, this is a process is known as desiring. The desiring is need to change. This is what happens. I had given you an example. A girl was asked, how do you know that someone is ugly and the color of the person and this person is beautiful? She says that my sisters tell me. Buddha has said desire is misery. Chanakya says in one of this, the birth is misery, the death is misery. All these are misery, therefore remain aware. Remain aware. That awareness is the key factor in everything. Buddha has said desiring is misery, and you go on repeating it. that desire is misery. But you continue doing the same thing. This, that repetition that desiring is misery, is knowledge. You are desiring and you have never seen that desire is misery. You have simply heard Buddha said, Buddha, when he said desire is misery, it is his realization. So until it becomes your realization, now, to some extent, those who are connected with an awakened one, they will start realizing that this is happening to them naturally. What was their life? Running behind this, running behind that, all the time focusing on this, is changing, or to some extent it has changed. You have simply heard Buddha. Just hearing is knowledge and it will not do anything. You are simply wasting the opportunity of your life. Your own experience can change you, nothing else. Yes, when an awakened one says, you introspect on it. Is it reality? Does the misery gives the problem? Desire gives the problem? You start introspecting, and when it becomes your own realization, the knowledge, then whatever you know, it is not borrowed. It is not fake. But it is your own realization. Why do we follow Buddhas, Jesus? Why? Have you ever introspected why do you follow those who have drunk and gone? Because of our greed. We look at Buddha's eyes, they look peaceful, blissful, so a desire arises in you. Desire arises in you how to attain this. Buddha is so blissful, there is no movement. He can sit down for an hour in one position, whereas you are fidgeting every moment. And through his eyes, you can see ecstasy flowing every moment. A desire arises how to be Buddha-like. We also desire such states. Then go on asking how Buddha achieved this, how this happens. The how creates many problems, because then Buddha will say, by no desiring, it happens. And he is right. It has happened in the state of no desire. Buddha did everything that was possible. Fasting, there was at the time of Buddha almost 1800 different schools of yoga and tantra, everything. So he practiced all of these. He fasted on 1 grain of rice for 6 months. After doing all this, he realized, what have I gained? My body has become so lean, frail and weak that I can, even if enlightenment happens to me, how will I sustain? He was crossing the river Niranjana. That was a shallow, stony river. It was night, full moon night. He could not cross the river. He fell down. And there was a tree leaning from the other side. He held on to the branch to sustain himself and keep on watching the stars disappear in the sky. One after the other, all the skies disappeared. How the stars disappeared? The light of the sun appeared. In our solar system, there are 2 major planets. The sun and the moon. The earth revolves around the sun, and to complete one circle around the sun, it takes 360 days. That's why it circles. It circles around the sun in 360 days. That's why each circle have 360 degrees. The triangles, if you put it, it is 360 days. And why there are 12 months in a year? Because the moon is taking, moon rotates around the surface, around the earth, and the one circle earth completes around the sun in 360 days. During the same time, this moon takes 12 rotations around the earth. That's why there are 12 months. The earth very systematically leans 23.5 degrees. If it was a straight, the sunlight will fall straight on the earth. Life will become impossible. If this leaning, tilting becomes less by 10, then at certain points on earth the temperature will be very high, not livable, and certain places the temperature will be so high, so low that again it will be unlivable. So moon and the sun are two planets. Moon is subplanet, but that's a different matter. But it is a planet. So moon has its variations. It changes from new moon to full moon. So this symbolizes the mind. Human mind keeps on moving from one state to another. So moon symbolizes the cosmic mind, and sun symbolizes the cosmic soul, because around which all the activities take place. The moon gets the light from the sun, the earth gets light, and all other planets get light from the sun. So sun is the soul of this solar system. Moon is the mind of the solar system. Your body is the replica of the solar system in a miniature form. So your heart is the soul, and mind is the moon. So how to move from the mind to the soul? Now, why there is, the Hindus use 108 numbers. 108 is the galactic number. How it comes 108? You take the distance between earth and moon and divide it by the diameter of the moon. You will get the number 108. You take the distance from the earth to sun, divided by the diameter of the sun, you will get again number 108. 108 is the galactic number. Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, out of this there are 112. When you practice 112, 2 you get it as a bonus. This 112 are psychic centers where the energy moves within the body. Out of 112, 108 is more important, 4 happens automatically. So journey from mind to heart is the journey. So you are moving from the mind, so you need to count 108 times. It is symbolic. So what Buddha said, Buddha, it was his realization. And if you just follow Buddha, it's not going to happen. Buddha was not trying to be someone like else. Instead, he was not asking to be Buddha-like. The word Buddha did not happen before Gautam attained to Buddhahood. He was simply trying to understand his own misery, the three conditions that triggered his life. His journey began. That was when he saw a sick man. He asked, why this person is like this? The charioteer told him, he is sick. Does everyone get sick? Yes. Will I get sick? Yes. Then he saw an old man. How this man is walking? This man is old. Does everyone get old? Yes. Will I get old? Yes. Then he saw the dead body. Same question came. Then a desire came into him to discover the cause of this misery. So the misery was his realization. But is it your realization, your state of misery? Or you simply heard that I have to move in the spiritual dimension, then nothing will happen. So Buddha was not trying to be like someone else. He was not asking to be Buddha because the word Buddha did not exist before him. He was simply trying to understand his own misery, why these things come into him, and more understanding dawned upon him. The more understanding dawns, the misery disappears. So disappearance of the misery, appearance of no desiring, was the consequence of his understanding that dawned upon him. One day he came to understand desire is poison. If you have desire, you have fallen a victim. Now there is no possibility for you to be happy. You can only hope and hope. And hope and frustration are interrelated to one another. Then the more you hope, the more frustrated you are. This forms a vicious circle. And when we continue to live in this vicious circle, and when you become more frustrated, you hope more, you desire more, because then hope becomes a consolation. You go on moving in the future because of the present that you are not satisfied with. You are not satisfied with your present condition. So you move in someday I will be able to finish from that. In the past, this present was future and you hoped for it. Now that which you had was future for you yesterday became present now. Now this is frustration. You expected that tomorrow you will be better off. You will not be miserable, but it did not happen, so frustration remains. Then you hope again for tomorrow. Then it becomes again what is tomorrow today will become today next day. You will again be frustrated. Then you hope again. Then you move into frustration and this process continues. Continuation of this process and living in this process is world, sansar. So no Buddha can give you his eyes. It is good when you see the eyes of Buddha, how I can be like him, how I can attain to this state. Then a journey begins. But the journey is yours, and it is good that he cannot give you his eyes. Otherwise, you will remain fake always. You will never become authentic. It is good to suffer because only through suffering, one day you can become authentic, and this is what happened to Buddha. Buddha suffered for 6 years, underwent serious problems, and then one day the light dawned on him. So the first thing is move with your desires so you can understand their nature. Buddha moved into the desire and then he tried to solve. And that process of moving into the desire is austerity or tapascharya. That is your austerity, your practice. Experience whatever suffering is hidden there. Let it be revealed to you. Only then it is an austerity. This is tapascharya. This continues. We will continue this in tomorrow's session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day. I have to start abruptly at times because of the time factor, number one. Number two, this keeps the process alive in you. If I explain everything to you today, nothing will happen. There was a beautiful example. One day, Margaret Noble, who came to be known as Sister Nivedita, asked Vivekananda a question, that when you are speaking in Parliament of Religions, it appeared that we could have listened to you. No, the question was why milkmaids were running behind Krishna when he is playing the flute. So flute plays the music of the being. Why? Because flute has the holes on it, and when air is blown into you, it overflows your heart, your soul, your essence. So Vivekananda did not answer. One day he was speaking, and all of a sudden he left in the middle. Incomplete was he was completing, and he ran from the podium. So as he was running, everybody followed him. He ran about 100 meters and so, and then he stopped. So everybody stopped. He said, "Why are you running behind us?" He said, "I don't know. There was something that you were saying that made me run behind you. I do not know what it was there in it." So what they said, Vivekananda told, this is why the milkmaids, when they hear the sound of the flute, they run behind Krishna. They come out of their house, leave everything. This is an inexplainable explanation. So what Vivekananda did, gave them a realization what was happening between Krishna and the milkmaids. It is also symbolic. It is said erroneously, and people condemn why Krishna married 16,000 women. In a spiritual dimension, everything is used as a metaphor, and metaphor so that you can understand it very well. Directly you cannot understand. The number is not 16,000 but 16,108. 108, the last 3 digits, is the galactic number. And 16,108, according to Sanatan's culture, there are 4 Vedas. Ved means that which is known or which is to know. That which is known. Is it that known to you? No. So, each sutra of the Veda is known as by a Sanskrit word, richa. Whereas in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra we call it sutra or shlokas. In Veda it is called 16,108 richas. Each Richa of the Veda is a woman that is aspiring to merge with its counterpart, that is the cosmic existential energy. Unless that happens, the search continues. So every spouse looks in her lover or beloved that totality, that cosmic existence. A woman looks in her husband a cosmic. And if she has looked into and she found it, so the husband becomes his master, her master. And if the man looks the same thing in her, in the woman, then he will not aspire for any other cosmic, the Shakti, Shiva and Shakti. The two has become the embodiment of cosmic energy. The creation will happen. But as long as this does not happen, our journey continues. The moment you realize that the person you have are connected is that presence, then the search completes. So everything is metaphor. So until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.